Okay, so let's just state the obvious. Everyone agrees that AI is going to fundamentally change how we do business. It's the topic on everyone's mind, right? But what if I told you that for most companies out there, the AI revolution hasn't actually started yet?
The numbers here are, well, pretty staggering. A global survey by BCG found that a tiny 26% of organizations are actually seeing real value from their AI efforts. Yeah, just 26%. That means nearly 3/4 of companies are basically on the sidelines, still waiting for that return on investment. They have the tools, sure, but something big is missing.
So what's the holdup? Is it bad data? Complex integrations? It turns out, no. The research is so clear on this. A whopping 70% of the challenges in getting AI to work have absolutely nothing to do with the technology itself. It all comes down to people and processes.
And that, right there, reveals the real obstacle. It isn't the AI, it's not the tech. It's our company's ability to adapt, to reinvent themselves, and to scale new ways of working when everything is constantly changing.
The skill we really need to be building is something called change resilience. And listen, the most important word in this definition is reflex. This is not about some one-and-done project or a special initiative. It's about building an organizational instinct, a muscle memory that takes the chaos of constant disruption and turns it into a cycle of learning and creating real value. The old model of doing a big transformation every 5 years, it's totally broken.
So how do you build a reflex? Well, you do it the same way an athlete does. You train your muscles. And this is a fantastic way to think about it as 3 core muscles that, when you develop them together, create that true change resilience. The first muscle is sensing. This is all about spotting those weak signals and trends way earlier than the competition. Second is rewiring. The agility to move your people and your money to new priorities in a matter of weeks, not quarters. And the third is lock-in, having the discipline to capture what you learn so you're not constantly reinventing the wheel. You see the loop? Sense, rewire, lock-in, and then you do it all over again.
If you want a perfect example of this in action, just look at Shopify. They sensed they needed to double down on their core product. So they rewired the whole company by making the massive decision to spin off their logistics arm. And then they locked in that new focus by immediately launching new AI-native tools like Sidekick. Now that's resilience.
So this brings the question back to you. How resilient is your organization really? I mean, think about it. If someone on your team has a great idea today, can they actually start experimenting with it tomorrow? And is failure treated like a valuable lesson, or is it something that gets swept under the rug? If you can't say yes to those questions, well, then there's some work to do.
But here's the good news. There is a clear path forward. This isn't just some vague, fuzzy cultural goal. It's a tangible capability that you can actually build. And there's a clear 5-step playbook to get you there. This playbook has 5 simple, actionable steps for any leader. We're going to walk through each one. Learn, do, imagine, act, and care. It's a holistic approach, and it's designed to build momentum, one step at a time. Okay, it all starts with learning, and this means getting your hands dirty. Accenture did this brilliantly. They encouraged every single department to build what they called micro apps that just solved one little pain point. They basically created a giant sandbox where people could play, experiment, and build a real intuition for how AI could change their day-to-day work.
And this wasn't just for fun. These little microbats at Accenture led to some serious results. A measurable 12% drop in working hours, and an 8.5% boost in the quality of their output. See? Small, widespread experiments create real momentum and prove the business case from the bottom up.
Step 2 is do. So once you've figured out where the gaps are from that learning phase, you launch really targeted, lightweight interventions. We're talking 10-day experiments, not 10-month projects. You pair up your domain experts with data scientists for a quick sprint. The goal is to build momentum, fast.
And to see the sheer power of starting small and then scaling up, look at DBS Bank. They use this exact micro-intervention approach to launch over 800 different AI models. The result? An estimated $563 million in economic value this year alone. That's the power of doing.
Step 3, imagine, is where things get really ambitious. This isn't about just slapping some AI onto your old clunky processes. No, this is about starting with a totally blank sheet of paper.
Moderna did this. They literally merged their technology and HR departments to fundamentally rethink which tasks are for humans and which tasks can be automated.
Step 4, ACT, is all about making this a continuous cycle. It's about measurement, learning, and reinvesting. You have to treat AI not as some final destination, but as an ongoing engine for improvement. You're building a flywheel that just gets stronger and stronger with every single turn.
P&G absolutely lives this. Their custom platform, called ChatPG, has over 30,000 employees using it. They've cut the time it takes to test marketing concepts from months down to days. They're even piloting fully autonomous shifts in their factories. They measure the impact and they reinvest the gains. It's a beautiful thing.
But let's be honest, none of this works if you completely exhaust your workforce. And that's why this final step, care, might just be the most important one of all. Rapid, relentless change requires deliberate, focused attention on psychological safety and employee well-being. Without it, enthusiasm very quickly turns into burnout.
And this isn't just some soft skill, it's a massive strategic advantage. Cisco logged over 2.3 million team check-ins last year. That gives their leaders a real-time pulse on how people are feeling, what their workload is like. They prove that caring for your people actually accelerates transformation. It doesn't slow it down.
So when you put all of these pieces together, you start to realize something. The companies that are pulling ahead aren't just the ones with the fanciest algorithms. The real differentiator is something far more human.
Ultimately, it just comes down to this. The gap between the AI leaders and the laggards, it's not about who has access to the technology. Pretty much everyone has access now. It's about having the courage and the discipline to build an organization that is always changing.
Which leaves us with one final thought. Take a really hard look at your own organization. Are you truly building the muscles for continuous change, or are you just chasing the next shiny object? Because the answer to that question will very likely define your future.